What's up, guys? Welcome to Bullish Bets. On this channel, we cover all things related to stocks and investing. We take a look at news where we can make some potential big bets with huge upsides. In this video, we're going to talk about NIO. Keep in mind that we're not financial advisors, and this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Make sure you do your own research before making any investment decisions. So before we get started, I'd love to ask you guys to do me a favor and smash that thumbs up button and hit subscribe. So let's get into NIO. NIO and its fellow EV stocks have taken a big hit in late February and early March of 2021. Its share price went from a high of around $62 to a low of $32. Multiple factors led to this drop, but fortunately, as of March 9th, it jumped back up to around $42 per share. One of the first reasons it collapsed was it was just a bloodbath of a market during this time period. The whole market in itself was getting cleaned out. Second, there was an industry-specific scare. There was a chip shortage that essentially affected the whole EV market, and that in itself, put a lot of downward pressure in the stock. And lastly, there was a specific problem that NIO had to face itself. It didn't do so hot in Q4 earnings report. The expected earnings per share were supposed to be at a 17-cent loss, but it actually came out to a net 14-cent loss. On the bright side, NIO did meet its expectation in terms of revenue. The revenue was at 1.01 billion estimate, and it came out to 1.02 billion estimate. That being said, NIO has a bright future in our opinion. It's because NIO is doing something different in terms of the EV market. It's going in the route of luxury. It's aiming to associate its brand with luxury. When people think of luxurious EV brand, NIO aims to take that market share. You can tell they're doing that by just deciding to work with NVIDIA to create their autonomous driving vehicle software. It's definitely not the most cost-efficient way to build your vehicles, but NIO decided to do it anyway. And there's a lot of huge potential upside with NIO deciding to do this. Although it's going to be more costly in the beginning, they're going to build a very strong brand with a lot of brand loyalty just by the fact that they're creating high quality products that will increase the lifetime value of each customer. So since we got that out of the way, let's jump into the earnings report and just see where we're at. As I mentioned, NIO did meet expectations in terms of revenue, but it missed it in terms of net bottom line. But that being said, the vehicle sales for the fourth quarter of 2020 was around 946 million USD. And this is an increase of 130% compared to fourth quarter of 2019 and a 44.7% increase of third quarter 2020. This shows that NIO is growing, and it's growing at a pretty rapid rate. On top of that, what I really like to see is that the net margin is and the gross vehicle margin is increasing for NIO. The gross margin increased from to 17.2% from negative 6% in Q4 of 2019 and from 14.5% from Q3 of 2020. It made a huge jump in gross margin compared to 2019, and that's good. It shows that NIO is reaching economies of scale, and the more vehicles they produce, the more the margins will increase, and it seems like it's a direct relationship, And compared to some companies who aren't producing, for example, I don't want to throw Workhorse under the bus, but workhorse year over year vehicle margin is decreasing. They don't have the manufacturing ability to do so, to produce vehicles. But that being said, NIO is headed in the right direction, and it looks fairly strong. And this is one of the bright spots that's coming out of this earnings report, on top of the fact that they're growing year over year, quarter over quarter. And on top of that, NIO's doing something different. It's aiming to service people in terms of battery as a service. They're offering something totally different in the EV market that not anyone's doing. They are looking to do NIO power swaps, which will decrease the amount of time that it will require for people to change their batteries. It's a whole different system that no other company is doing. That's a bright spot for NIO in terms of the EV space. And also, their charging capability is really fast. It charges from 20% to 80% in just half an hour. This is one of the main things that I believe that prevent people from getting into electric vehicles. The inconvenience of charging your car. NIO solves that problem. It's aiming to solve that problem with their battery as a service part of their company, sector of their company. They have Power Mobile, and this is just reinventing and creating the structure, the infrastructure that is needed with everyone transitioning from ICE vehicles to battery electric vehicles. And NIO just recently released their new car, ET7, and you can tell by this look, it's very, very aesthetically pleasing, and it seems very luxurious in terms of a sedan. It just offers a great quality product that it doesn't seem like other EVs are aiming to do. They have great design, and it's a great product. If we look at this video, the build of the car looks very modern, and it's just a pleasant looking car in general, which people will want in terms of electric vehicle, and it's gonna attract new customers towards it. Yeah, so there's a lot of features, and obviously one of the big things in this car is LiDAR, the LiDAR technology for autonomous driving, and based off just this, you can tell it's going to be a more expensive vehicle based off the quality and so forth. It just looks very modern, a lot of LED lights, and the interior looks very sleek and smooth. But as I mentioned, NIO is going down the route of higher end luxurious cars. The starting price is around $69,000 for this vehicle, compared to a vehicle like Tesla, which is going around $40,000 and so forth, and maybe even cheaper. But that's the fact that NIO is using higher quality products. For example, NIO uses LiDAR, which Elon mentions that it's not necessary in cars. But that being said, it makes sense why Elon doesn't want to use LiDAR for Tesla, because it's going to push the cost of Tesla cars up. But NIO is not going down the route of selling cheap cars to everyone, because there's an upside to first going luxury and building a great brand around NIO, and that's the fact that people are going to want the brand once it has a high quality, luxurious name connected to it. For example, Louis Vuitton, Louboutins, Rolex, and all those high quality brands, it costs a lot, but there's a prestige around those brands, and if it ever decides to actually sell cheaper products, there's going to be a flood of people looking to to buy their products, and it seems like NIO's going down this route, which, although they're not selling the highest number of cars right now, because it's a little costly, it does have a chance of in the future producing a lower end car that is going to attract a lot of people once it builds its name in the EV space as a luxury vehicle. And one of the things that you also want to keep in mind is NIO is raising more capital by issuing more shares in the Hong Kong market exchange, and this potentially can dilute, affect the price a little. But that being said, NIO already is at a discount, and I still believe it is. In our opinion, it was at a high of $60 and it dropped down to $32. A lot of people were scared to buy in, but in our opinion, it's at a discount. Is that at a dip because is that a dip that's worth buying because it's growing, it's producing revenue, it's creating more, developing new vehicles and products that are desirable. What do you guys think? Do you think that NIO has reached back to its fair value with around $40 a share? Or do you think it's just starting and the previous high should have actually been a floor? Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. And this is essentially it for this video. We love all the EV Chinese products because they're very sleek, and it seems like they know what they're doing with the fact that China's aiming to develop a very green economy compared to a place like us. So if you liked our content, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it, as it helps with the YouTube algorithm. Again, thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.